Hey friends! Today's little class is yoga for rheumatoid arthritis, the subject the most near and dear to my heart. If we've never met before, my name is Stephanie. I've lived with rheumatoid arthritis for 24 years now already, and I was diagnosed many years before I ever tried my first yoga class. So my physical practice has had to be modified pretty much since day one. If you also live with rheumatoid arthritis, then I'm sorry, but I feel you. Misery loves company. And what does it even mean to do yoga with RA? How is it different? I would say the most important is that you just slow down. Slow all of the movement down. Give yourself time to build that foundation. And that's why today's video is really short, because I think that less more often is better than those days where you feel good and you go whole hog and you take an hour and 15-minute long class, and then it hurt and it set you back and you don't take another one for another month or another year or whatever. So today is only 10 minutes. You're not going to need any fancy props. I just want you to have something good to sit on. So if the floor is tangible for you to sit on, have at least a blanket to layer up under your hips. And if it's not the most accessible thing today, then a chair will do just fine. We're going to start though from the support of the ground. So come roll down all the way to your back on your clear chunk of floor, and I'll see you there. Take a moment to just settle into the floor, some comfortable shape and stillness. And take a deep breath in through your nose and an easy breath out through your mouth. Bring your mind to your fingers and your toes for a moment. Letting the palms soften, the soles of the feet soften. Take a little mental check-in to the fingers, to the toes. And if any specific joints are pulling your attention today. On a couple deep breaths, imagine that you could use this breath. Your inhales can see these joints clearly in your mind, give them your full attention. And your exhales can see them softening, dissolving, or I always like to picture it as like those sharp edges are starting to blur. And do that a couple of times. Just imagine your inhales can picture these spaces, can picture the edges if there are any. And your exhales, see them softening. As those boundaries soften, they broaden a bit. We don't feel as confined. And as you move in your body today, always do what's best for you. When you like, take your fingers up toward the sky. Arms long, elbows soft. And we'll start a little movement with the breath. Inhales. I'm going to stretch the palms up toward the sky, the fingers gently back towards your face. Exhales, take those fingers back through neutral, and then stretch a little the outside of the wrist. Send your fingers in the direction away from you. Inhales, pull them back, extension in the wrists. Exhale, send them gently forward to flex. And do this just a couple of times. No matter the range of motion, feel like you get to move through it smoothly. And when you find those edges, you don't have to push past them at all, but it's like the edges are softening. And then just go some slow, easy circles through the wrists. Move them a few times in one direction. Move them a few times in the other. They might be coordinated with each other. They might get a little offbeat. Doesn't matter. Smooth it out with the rhythm of your breath. Then inhale your arms high over your head, just for a nice deep breath in, moving the shoulders. And we'll let the arms just relax wherever they're comfortable. We'll move a similar idea down to the feet. Take your feet up toward the sky. And on an inhale, stretch up through the soles of your feet, your heels. Let your toes stretch back towards your nose a little way. And then when you exhale, stretch the tops of the feet and point your toes to the best of their ability up at the sky. Try it again. Inhales, draw the toes back, our dorsiflexion. And as you exhale, point your toes, stretch up to your plantar flexion. Again, do it a couple of times. Inhales are seeing any resistance, and exhales are encouraging it to release. And then just like we did in the wrist, let this eventually turn into some circles. They don't have to be big. They just smooth out with the rhythm of your breath, move in one direction for a few circles, and then change. And then we'll bring the feet gently down to the floor, knees bent up toward the sky. Reset your arms down next to your sides if they weren't already there. And a couple rounds of a moving bridge. Press into your feet and lift your hips. I personally like to take the arms with it. So I'll stretch my arms back up to the sky, maybe all the way overhead if the shoulders will allow. And then as you exhale, you're going to reverse it. Roll back down your spine. Let your hips touch the mat. And if the arms are floating along, they might follow. Arms reset back where they started. Inhales, lift the hips, maybe the arms as well. Exhales, rolling back down. And again, this doesn't have to be a big shape to be effective. Do a couple more with the rhythm of your breath. Feeling an even base through the soles of the feet. One more deep breath in to lift the hips, and one more easy breath out to let them lower gently back down to the mat. Take your time to roll to one side of your body, right or left, whichever feels easier for you in this moment. And just pause for another deep breath. Knees a little close into the chest. Your eyes are welcome to stay closed. Continue to encourage your breathing, to visualize the spaces that feel tension, and to consciously let them release. We'll slowly push our way up into a seat. I don't usually like to sit straight on the floor, so I'll sit up on a little cushion, some folded blankets, something, or maybe you've got a chair close by. Get yourself comfortable in a seat so that you don't have to think about the lower body too much. We'll bring attention up into the joints of the shoulders. Now, roll your shoulders forward. Squeeze them up towards your ears. Breathe in, roll them back, and roll them down. Do it again, roll them forward. Breathe them up as high as they'll go to your ears. Feel the change as they squeeze together, and then down the back. And one more time, roll them forward and up. Then roll them back and down. And then take your arms out to stretch out to your sides. Expand across the chest. Again, elbows can be soft, but broaden as far as you can. Reach all the way through those fingers. Take a big deep breath in. And when you exhale, hug across your chest and grab as close as you can get to your opposite shoulders. Give yourself a big, tight hug. We could all use more hugs. Hold on here and just soften the weight of the arms as you keep this hold. A gentle resistance in the breath. Feel the body expand against that pressure across the chest. And then on your next inhale, open again, nice and broad, stretch out through your fingers. And we're going to cross one more time. Give yourself the hug. Cross your opposite elbow on top this time. Just for a sense of balance. Breathing in. Breathing out. This time, let your arms melt their way out of your hold when you're ready. And we'll take the hands ever so slightly behind us. They could link to each other, but they definitely don't have to. You might just find something to touch the fingers to. But open across your chest, gently squeezing the shoulder blades together and down the back, making the most space away from the ears that you can. Then we'll sit up tall for one more. Inhale your arms high over your head. Let it pull you physically taller. And exhale, twist towards your right. Slowly, gently let your fingers fall to wherever they're comfortable. The hands do not have to pull you around in this twist. Just let this soften and strengthen the spine. One more look over your right shoulder. And untwist back to center. If you like, lift the arms again, sit a little bit taller, breathe in. We'll breathe out and we'll twist gently to the other side. Feel like your whole spine twists from the tailbone all the way through the top of your head. You're looking over your left shoulder. And then release when you're ready. Sitting tall. Body relaxed. Checking in one more time to how you feel. If you like, bring the palms to meet gently at the heart, a gesture of gratitude as we thank our bodies for all the awesome things that they do for us every day. Namaste. I hope you feel better on this side of even that short little practice. Hopefully it felt short and sweet enough to weave it into every changing day. If you know anyone that lives with rheumatoid arthritis, pass this video on to them. I hope that it helps. And if you wish that it was a longer class, I do an hour-long general gentle yoga practice, pretty formulated with rheumatoid in mind, since it's my personal experience and my personal voice. But the link to that is in my description, more about it on my website. Otherwise, you know our slogan, pain's a bitch, but yoga helps. See you next time.